When you're working as a designer, it's sometimes really hard to organize yourself and to stay organized, especially if you're working on some big projects or if you're working on multiple projects at the same time. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, how to be more organized and how to keep and stay on time. Hey designer, Alex here, welcome to the channel. And the way number one and the method number one is simply to use pen and paper. Write down every single day when you come to work or when you start working from home or wherever you're working from. Simply write down on a piece of paper that day. Let's say that today is Monday, and on Monday you are going to start working on A, B, C or 1, 2, 3, however you want to structure your work. That way you're going to stay organized and to keep track of each and every day. Tomorrow, for example Tuesday, when you come to work or when you wake up and start working, you can go back to the Monday's work and Monday tasks and to keep organized and to keep track of what you have done and what you still need to be doing for that particular day. You can do this every single day, you can do this task by task, you can do this project by project. It's really up to you how you really want to structure your work and how you really want to keep organized and to keep looking really closely at what you are doing. And I really recommend that you guys start with harder tasks, because those harder tasks are going to take so much of your mental ability and your mental strength. That way, when you finished with harder tasks, you can move on to easier tasks, which does not require so much mental strength and so much focus, so you can really go through them more easily. The other way around, if you start working on lighter and easier tasks, it's going to burn you out really quickly, and then when you get to the harder tasks, then you have no mental strength left in you to tackle those harder tasks. So I really recommend to go the opposite way and to start with harder tasks first and then move on to lighter and more easier tasks later. Way number two is simply to use Whiteboard, and you can buy these whiteboards really cheaply from your local stores, from IKEA or wherever you want to buy those office supplies. And when you buy the whiteboard, it usually comes with erasable markers, and you can really easily erase them either with the sponge brush or with the hand or with the tissue paper or however you want to erase them. And these are really useful, especially if you keep them by your side. So if you keep them in the place where you can easily see them and where you can easily glance while you work. And they are extremely useful, for example, to write down everything I spoke about in pen and paper part, but now in a more approachable and more easily erasable way. I still like to use pen and paper more because you can keep pen and paper for later, and you can really reference to it, for example, a few months before, while with the whiteboard you really cannot do that because you will run out of space really quickly and then you have to start all over again. So that's why I choose pen and paper, but you have the whiteboard option as well, and it's really up to you if you want to go down that route. Way number three is to use online tools, and online tools are great because they are combining the ease of use of whiteboards and the organization strengths of pen and paper, so you can keep them for later and you can reference back to them, for example 3 months before or whatever you want to do with them. So online tools are usually paid, but you can get either free versions or free trials or free few days trial or forever free version, or however they are coming these days. Basically you can use something like Trello. Trello is great because you can organize these boards inside of it. You can use something called Notion, and you can follow every single tasks you included in the Notion, or you can use something like Milanote, which is basically used as a sort of digital mood board to inspire yourself and to keep track of everything you are doing. Whichever tool you choose from these three or whichever other tool you find online, just make sure to familiarize yourself with it and to use it for the entire project. Don't switch tools for organization and for keeping track of what you are doing. And then, for example, start one in Trello, then move on to Milanote, then move on to Notion. Don't do that, because you're just going to waste too much time. You're going to confuse yourself, and especially if you're paying, don't waste too much money on these tools, because they are there just to help you stay organized and to keep focus on your project. So when you choose a tool, dedicate yourself to it, and then after you finish that project, maybe you want to check out another tool, then do that, but don't do that mid-project to switch between these tools, because it's just going to confuse you and you're just going to lose way too much time. Way number 4 is use Adobe XD. So right next beside your project, you can create another artboard. For example, you can use just regular one 1920 with 1080, and then you can, for example, include some bullet points, and you can divide that artboard by days, by months, however you want to organize it. You can really stretch it to make it longer and to include way more information than when you're just getting started. And what's great about it is it lives right next to your project. So when you're working on your project, that artboard is right next to all of your other artboards, so you can easily glance and see, okay, so for example, today is Monday, I did this, I'm supposed to be doing this. So you can really easily switch between these tasks and complete them with ease, because you can really see every single thing in one tool. Also, what's great about using this method inside Adobe XD is you can easily glance at what you have completed and what you need to be doing still. You can also color code all of those tasks. So for example, you can give a green check mark once you finish the task, and you can give a red X, for example, if the task is not yet completed. You can include yellow, you can include blue. It's really all up to you, but once again, don't get stuck too much into it, because you're going to lose too much time focusing on that instead of your project. So I really recommend just start, just build on top of it, and just as your project progresses and moves along, just include a bit by bit more information into that organization file, and simply keep at it and simply focus on it every single day and make sure you are on track. Once you finish the project and once it's ready to be delivered, you can pick that artboard, drag and drop it into another project to save it for yourself, just to see what you have been doing, or to use it for future projects. But just make sure to delete it before you send it over to the clients, because it looks really unprofessional to send that file to your clients in looking like that, because they're just going to be confused and ask you too many of these unnecessary questions. And finally, the way number 5 is simply use your phone to set reminders. Every single phone out there, especially smartphones, have calendars. You can set reminders inside of those calendars for the next day, for the next 2 days, 5 days, a week, a month, whatever you want to do. So simply set reminders. Remind yourself if you, for example, start working at 9 a.m. like most people do, for example, then simply set reminder for 9 a.m. what you need to be doing for that particular day. Then make sure to follow up with that routine. Every single morning, check your phone, check your reminder when it reminds you what you need to be doing for that particular day, and you can always jump back to your phone and see, for example, what you have been doing. You can also use something like Notes app. Every single phone out there has them, and you can write for that particular day inside of your Notes app what you need to finish that day and what's already finished, so you can really easily keep track of it, because you use your phone every single day anyway, so might as well use it for this particular purpose. So it's really easily glanceable and you can really easily check it, because it's your phone, it's with you all the time. So I really recommend that you at least give it a go, or to combine it with some of these other methods. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you found some value in it. If you did, make sure to press that like button. I upload new videos every single week on design, passive income techniques, motivation and more. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.